All right, team. I know I said that I was done for tonight, and I intended to be, but then I forgot something really important that we talked about last night, which is Elite Specializations. So, don't know where my head was at, but I thought, why not jump back on and let's watch some YouTube videos together. Let's watch some of the developer announcements from ArenaNet. And maybe we'll create a Bladesworn tonight. But we're going to go through all these different Elite Specializations over the beta time that we have. But Bladestorm is pretty exciting for me. I love this idea of a gun saber. I don't even fully understand it, but I think it sounds awesome. So we're going to jump right in. Let me just make sure that the stream is up and running and things are looking good. We got audio. Play one of these random videos. I saw Muckluck's YouTube was recommended.
Muckluck here, and we just finished watching the 1 hour and 45-minute long presentation from ArenaNet about the new upcoming Elite Specializations. The
Right, good. We'll come back to that one, though. We'll come back to that one. Got home settings correct here. Get going. Excuse me. All right. So, Bladesworn. That's where my attention is right now. I'm pretty excited about these Elite Specializations. I'm excited to play them. I haven't had as much time. I watched some of the developer announcement last week, but I haven't had much time to do a little bit of research on them. So I thought, let's start with the one that seems really cool and appealing to me, which is Bladesworn. Let's watch some videos around it, and yeah, we'll just dig in even further. So, with that being said, let's jump right in. We're gonna watch it. I also have the Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons page pulled up here. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this.
Advances in Canthan technology have yielded a fusion of firearm and longsword. The gun saber. Only a dedicated, highly trained warrior can handle such a volatile weapon. Gun saber attacks enhance the Bladesworn's flow.
What is this?
Meditative dragon trigger. In this state of calm and concentration, they can load their gun saber with magically imbued cartridges that power up their attacks. With their gun saber sheathed, they wield offhand pistols to maintain their flow.
Okay, cool. Interesting. Super interesting. Love the logo for End of Dragons as well. You know what? Let's jump back and let's watch the End of Dragons trailer. 13. I think this is a full one.
There's familiarity in this strangeness. Like a song half remembered, a tune without words to carry it. I know you, and yet I don't.
You will soon, little one.
Who are you talking to?
Just an echo in the mists.
These are really cool trailers. I already love the way that ArenaNet does these. I know that I'm probably missing some of the lore, and I haven't been able to catch up on it all. But I'm just enjoying the way they're setting up the story already.
A possibility.
Look around us. Your children would be trapped in the past, if not for me. Their worlds are carved from the jade that I gave purpose. I promised them a future. A century of progress cannot end this way. I'm not Cantha's, not just a spoke in some grand cosmic wheel.
Would a great innovator give up so easily on that promised future?
This is a beautiful
I
trailer.
won't. I'll find a way to save us all. The future is out there. What are we waiting for?
All right, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So let's see, where is the Elite Specialization stream? Deal. I want to watch these, but I'll do separate streams for each of these, the different ones. I'm looking for W2. Was part 2. Oh, look, somebody's streaming live about it. Who's that guy? Is it here? First look. I think it was part 2. Maybe there wasn't a part 2 and I'm just losing my...
And with End of Dragons, we wanted to continue that tradition. So the Siege Turtle is our first multiplayer co-op mount.
Here we are. That's for the... I want to hear them talk about this. I think it was this one.
Enhances their effects.
Alright, we're going to unleash Dragon Slash Force. So that's about, okay, that actually did 25,000 damage. That's actually way too low.
Power up their attacks. With their gun sabers.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We just watched this. See what they have to say about gun saber now. Sorry about that. Took me a second to find what we were looking for.
Alright, we are going to get into the Bladesworn, but I do want to call out first that Indigo just got a text.
Yeah, my mom just texted me pictures of water bottles. This is why.
That is a lot of water bottles.
She just like texted Indigo a picture of, she's got water bottles lined up in front of her monitor, so we're all getting into it.
Yeah, we're prepared.
I'm good. I brought my own.
Yay.
All right, so hang on, Cal's getting a drink, but then we will talk about the Bladesworn.
Time to hydrate.
Yeah, time to hydrate.
Time to hydrate.
He gets a break.
I don't think we actually have an emote for hydration in the chat, but
We should.
Well,
we should.
Now.
somebody get
Twitch
touchy with
chat probably
art.
knows. There's probably one I'm not thinking of. So
No, let's get art on this. They have time.
They have time.
They
Yeah.
don't. All right, Cal.
I don't think so.
Indigo first. I'm sorry, I got excited about your text, and I was just like, no, I want.
We're awake on this Friday. So the Bladesworn is a really, really fun class. And our warrior fans will be.
I like that art. That's what I used in the thumbnail for this YouTube video. Really cool.
Now, with the aid of their new offhand pistol, has the ability to use a really unique advanced form of technology called the gun saber. And the gun saber is
Look at the cuffs or the gauntlets for this one, for the Bladesworn. Look how they have these huge cartridge shells lining their wrist. That's really cool. I wonder if that will actually take place in the actual in-game models as well. Really cool though.
Fascinating fusion of almost like a firearm and a greatsword. And what it uses are these specially crafted amber bullets. And the amber is mined in the heart of Echowold Forest, which we'll learn about a little bit more later too. And it's a proud Kurzik tradition because the Kurziks are the best, so of course they would make something really cool. I mean, like, it's just, why not? But amber is also a really delicate resource to handle and really dangerous to handle too. So the Bladesworn is often balancing between managing its ammo and managing its use of the gun itself and jumping back and forth, which Cal will get into a little bit more here in a moment. But that kind of interplay in the heart of the class itself is really rich with lore and those thematics of the forest.
Yeah, this is cool. I'd love to hear too in chat or in comments later. Let me know what elite specialization you're looking forward to the most.
Kind of gun saber activated. We have a pistol, a couple of skills, not very exciting. Who cares about the pistol? We got this super cool gun saber. We'll definitely talk about the pistol in a little bit. But we want to start out with the gun saber. We'll talk about the profession mechanic changes a little bit as well. So first things first, the gun saber is kind of a little bit different from a lot of the more transformation-based kind of extra kits that we've seen in the past, stuff like Celestial Avatar, any sort of Death Shroud, or like Photon Forge, for example. These are all kind of gated behind some sort of resource. And the gun saber is not. It is just effectively a separate weapon. And so one of the trade-offs for this character is that while you're in combat, your weapon swap is actually going to be disabled, because the understanding is that your secondary weapon is always the gun saber. You'll still be able to equip two weapons, obviously, and then kind of pick and choose before you engage with something. So you might want to have a rifle for some fights. You might want to have, say, greatsword for some other fights. Make sure that you're swapped into that before you actually engage combat, because that's going to get locked down. You're only going to be able to swap between your active weapon and the gun saber. We'll talk about the skills in a minute here. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how Adrenaline is different for this character. Then we're going to talk about the burst skill for this character, because that's a super exciting part of this. But starting off, we're going to see that, so one thing is here, we've renamed Adrenaline to Flow, and that's partially just because it's a little bit different in terms of how it's built. As you can see, I'm hitting this golem and I'm not getting any flow. So that's one kind of separation. It's enough of a mechanical difference that we wanted to change the name to kind of avoid confusion and kind of just more thematic to this character, which is a little bit more calculated, a little bit more almost meditative compared to something like even Core Warrior or just Berserker, which is kind of that super aggressive all-in bursty character. There's a lot more kind of deliberate in his decisions. So once you actually enter combat, I'm currently cheating and not able to get into combat. Once you get into combat, you'll see, all right, I'm starting to build flow because I have this buff that says positive flow. And we'll see some other ways to get access to this buff in higher stacks.
What I really like is, and I know this is hard for any developer to do, but they're rolling out these elite specializations, which are effective. Like, you can call them a specialization, but in many ways they are a new type of class. And the balancing of that, the lore around that, the execution, the animation, that is a ton of work. And I'm really impressed with how thoughtful the developers seem to be rolling out these different specializations. And I'm looking forward to reviewing some of the other ones as well.
Obviously, there's still some warrior skills that just give you flat adrenaline, some traits that give you flat adrenaline. Some of these things have been modified to fit into the flow system, where some of them will actually give you increased flow rate instead of a flat adrenaline boost as they have in the past for Core Warrior or other warrior specializations. But some of them will continue to give those flat values. We kind of went through the list and decided, okay, this one makes sense as kind of that more built over time mechanic, and then some of these still need to be more bursty just to fit with the theme, either the trait line or the skill or whatever. So here you see positive flow is building up. Eventually I'm going to get to 100, This will go a little bit faster as you use some of the utility skills or the traits that give you access to more flow.
Oh man, what's going to happen when he gets to 100?
Another thing to note here, this goes up to 100 because it's kind of similar with the Revenant thing. 100's a lot cooler than 30. It's about 70 higher. We did some impressive math on this one as well and confirmed that 100 is just a much more powerful number to have access to than 30. So key balance
funny.
being made.
We hired an accountant for that.
So once you have access to, I mean, any amount of flow here, we actually need like 10, similar to burst limits on Core Warrior. Once you have enough flow, you can enter what we're calling Dragon Trigger.
Oh man, what is Dragon Trigger?
You kind of get into this prepared stance, and you're ready to draw and unleash the power of the gun saber. And so you see, it took about 5 seconds to fully charge these charges. It's going to drain every half second. It'll drain 10 and build up to that maximum over 5 seconds of maximum damage. And this is really going to allow you. There's going to be 3 different flavors of Dragon Slash. We'll start with the most powerful one.
Did you say flavors?
I did say flavors.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a word. So I'm going to cheat real quick and give myself guaranteed critical hit so we can really show off how much damage the skill is going to do because we love large numbers. All right, chat, what do you think? We're charging this ability for like 10 seconds, right? Or 5 seconds, sorry, but we built up a lot of adrenaline. All right, I got my vision sigil from out of nowhere. Impressive. But let's see how much damage this skill is actually going to do when I guarantee crit. Remember, this is a heavy golem, so about 2600 armor. It's not an ambient creature. We're not going to do any nonsensical things there. But all right, we're going to unleash Dragon Slash Force. So that's about okay. That actually did 25,000 damage. That's actually way too low, and I actually am on the wrong equipment set, where I don't actually have any gear equipped and also no traits. So real quick, let's get the real numbers. To Lethal Berserker. That's not Berserker, but we'll deal with it.
That's funny.
1 second. Let's get some better gear here real quick. This guy will come back, re-equip this guy.
The deception of the outfit.
Put on some traits. Yeah, let's activate this. Get out of combat. I don't know if I'd recommend this build. This is just some damage multipliers in here. If we really wanted to go crazy, you'd probably equip Warrior's Cunning, but no one takes that trait. That's not realistic. It's only going to be against high health targets anyway. Obviously, the 5 signets, most important piece of the Warrior build here. So let's just build some adrenaline real quick. Hop in here, get into combat. I'm also going to cheat again real fast and give myself some offensive buffs that some players might be familiar with. Because we're just going to get some quality damage numbers coming out here.
It's not that high.
Heavy armor target, 372, there we go. Better weapon roll. Yeah, so that's a pretty impressive damage number. Competitive players, don't worry, the number is going to be a lot lower. We somehow figured out that down. Very, very strong elite skill. So anyway, let's get into pistol, which I don't even have equipped. That's a minor oversight. But pistol kit. So Warrior offhands. It's kind of already this pretty saturated design space where you have so many options. You have shield, you have axe, you have sword, you have warhorn. The list goes on and on and on.
This is interesting.
So
let me know what you all think about a warrior equipping a pistol.
And so we look at axe. Axe is like damage and damage. It's just the purest glass cannon version of the warrior offhand, compared to something like shield, much more defensive, and CC. Stuff like Warhorn moves into that more supporty role. Mace is kind of a mixture where it's CC and damage. So the pistol kit, we're going to see a bit of damage and a little bit of mobility. So kind of finding that unique niche in between everything else that Warrior's already doing in the offense slot. Starting here with Dragon's Roar, this is the big damage payoff. So we see here 6 ammo. I'm going to stop cheating cooldowns for a second here so we can see this actually has a recharge. The way this skill is going to work, it has 6 ammo, but the way the skill works is that it fires
all barrels in your hand cannon
every time you use it. So you cast it with 1, you cast
That's
it
cool.
with 6. It's going to give you a variable amount of damage. You saw that we got 6 separate attacks because we had 6 ammo. So maximum DPS from the skill is going to be maximum ammo, makes sense. But you do have the opportunity to kind of press this button. And there is a trait that's going to give you a little bit of extra value for spending ammunition. So there may be opportunities where you just want to keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5, keep pressing 5 every 5 seconds as that comes off cooldown. And that's going to synergize really well with Gunstinger. Here's the 4 skill. This is a little bit of mobility. It's pretty short dash. The 300 range here is a little bit misleading because that's more of the dash range, and you have the melee attack at the end here.
Oh, I see.
So it's gonna space about maybe like closer to 450 units in terms of how far away you need to be from your enemy to make sure you hit them. And so this is also going to give a little bit of vulnerability, a nice Aegis on top of that, so a little bit of setup on your dash in, make sure you don't just get completely blown up, and also set up the next damage skills from the rest of your abilities. The important note here is that it restores ammunition to your Dragon's Roar. So if we fire off Dragon's Roar, dash back in immediately, we're already back up to 3 ammo, wait a little bit, get the 4th ammo, then fire that skill off again, and that's going to be kind of like the burstiest version of the combo is spend 6, dash
Yeah,
back
see, that's pretty
3,
cool.
and that's a lot of secondary heal of the first cast of that skill option there. Then next up we have Flow Stabilizer. So that's not quite an effective tech, which we'll talk about a little bit later, because that's all we have to talk about on the profession side for the...
That makes sense. Let's see.
We're going to finally get into the Catalyst next.
Yay!
There's one other one that I just want to take a quick look at. Let's look at Harbinger. This one sounds cool too.
Some necromancers have always been separated from corruption by a thin edge, absorbing life energy to fuel their magic. But a Harbinger's methods are even more volatile. These skilled alchemists have developed elixirs to inflict blight on themselves, converting their own pain into power.
Wow.
In Harbinger Shroud, they gain devastating abilities while suffering from blight. A Harbinger makes no clean kills, wielding a pistol to devastate their enemies with noxious, corrosive bullets.
Whoa. It's a pretty wild class too. Interesting. Okay. I'm getting it. Let's see what Virtuoso's about.
The Virtuoso sharpens the power of their mind into deadly psionic blades. Unlike traditional mesmer illusions, they wield these directly as magic projectiles. They deftly manipulate, deploy, and restore their summoned blades throughout a battle, staggering their enemies with conditions and control while inflicting very real cuts. If a Virtuoso ever finds their stock of magic blades running low, they can always count on the solid forged dagger in their hand.
Whoa. That's pretty cool too. That's super cool. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let me pause this. Okay. And game pet capture I'm picking up. I'm trying to jump in now to see if we can create one of these. Trouble tonight. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're in. All right. So good to see. So the one that people aren't liking is Virtuoso. Is that what you're saying? That Harbinger one seems pretty wild too. Let me take a look here. So where do I go to create these then? I feel like I might be in the wrong place. Oh, the new Necro spec, yeah. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool though, but I can get why people might be unhappy with it. Yeah, that makes sense. I still think it's kind of cool, but I'm also a new player, so I don't have, you know, the shared history of why something might not necessarily jive with a class. But we're gonna try to create a Bladesworn. Oh, the beta comes out later today. What? Shoot, it's the 21st. You're right. What am I doing? I'm forgetting that I'm in the US. All right. Well, hold on then. Let me get out of here. And we'll go back. We'll watch a little bit more. All right, there we go. Let's check out some of these other specializations then. I don't even know what day it is. I'm losing track of time. Let's start with Willbender. We'll just go down the list here.
Willbenders protect the Canthan throne with unflinching loyalty. They have no time to play at war. If a threat emerges, they'll strike it down before it has time to react. They take the fight to their targets, using rapid movement skills to navigate the battlefield. A Willbender's blade work is unmatched, and wielding a sword in their offhand gives them extra opportunities for ruthless cuts.
Interesting. Yeah, you'll get access to it soon. I don't know, that Willbender one doesn't excite me too much. What's been the let's see what people are saying in the comments on it. I think all the martial arts elements we've seen so far on every elite spec with Necro and Guardian, more than with Mesmer, are really well done. I love that sort of play style and can't wait to see what they'll do with Thief. Ah. Yeah, people seem to be liking this one. Alright, so we did Harbinger, we've got Willbender, we did Virtuoso, let's look at Vindicator.
The Kurziks and Luxons were bitter enemies, but their greatest champions, Saint Victor and Archimoris, united to help slay Shiro the Betrayer at the cost of their own lives.
Oh, whoa.
Vindicators call upon the strength of their legendary alliance.
That was a cool animation.
Channeling both heroes' skills to devastate their enemies and protect their allies. They use greatswords to deliver massive attacks and crush foes by leaping straight into battle instead of dodging.
That one's pretty cool too. Cool, 1 second. Back. Check. All right, team, I got to call it quits here for tonight, second time. But thanks so much for joining. We're going to do some more of this tomorrow. But super fun. I'm also looking forward to checking out these Elite Specializations. Realized what time it was. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, let's watch one more. Let's watch Catalyst, and then that's it for tonight, I promise.
Catalysts have revitalized ancient techniques for channeling elemental forces, with a few modern improvements. They use jade tech spheres to create concentrated wells of immense power. Using their augment abilities within range of the spheres enhances their effects. With the weight of Tyria's fundamental magics behind every blow from their hammers, these elementalists are a steady presence in melee combat.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool too. I need to sit down and think about which of these look the best to me, but there's definitely some cool ones. I hit them all, right? I want to explore that Harbinger one when this launches as well, but I think right now what I'm feeling is Bladesworn number 1, Vindicator number 2. Vindicator looks cool. Harbinger 3, Virtuoso 4, Willbender 5. No, Catalyst 5, Willbender 6. I'm sure that ranking is going to change, but those all look pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to diving into it a little bit more, and I think we'll kick off with Bladesworn tomorrow, assuming everything's launched when it's time to stream. But yeah, anyway, I jumped back on because I thought that things were going to be in game already. Had my timing wrong, but I'm glad I got to spend a little bit extra time with you all. And Mr. Oshrak, thanks so much for joining and chatting with me a bit. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a good day over there in the EU, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.